Shalom to you, giving all praise and honor and glory to you. How about Shemal Shai, Bashem Hakodash, and give a double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who well, peace and salutation to you, elect. Shemal is a Mappa from the Great Millstone Plaintables Camp of Philadelphia. It's coming with another we lesson right here. It's on the current state of Babylon the Great, which is America. You have it here in this NBC News video story, which I give a fair use warning. I don't own any of this footage. This is for educational purposes only. NBC News is the owner here, and you have it. They have it where they went to Tennessee, okay, and they have it where you have Ottawa. If he is Ottawa, he always can be possibly an Israelite, no matter how you look, right? Lineage go by the way of your father. But you have it, he's living inside of an RV. So we're going to play this.
It actually has a queen-size bed, which is hard to believe.
For Gus Francis, this is home. A 20-year-old camper he bought for $5,000, parked in an RV lot in Graysville, Tennessee, just north of Chattanooga.
I got all my rosaries for protection.
So he got a $5,000 RV, and then he got all of these, these idols that spread about. Okay. Saying for protection and all of that. And the protector will be the Yahweh Shemal Shai if you're an Israelite and such. Just going to show you, hey, the times in which people, are pretty much scared of definitely being invaded, and their particular dwellings. Whether it's a traditional home of a row home or a single house, or even this case of RV. So the scriptures say in Psalms 33 and 20, our soul waited for Yahweh. He is our help and our shield. That's who our help and shield is, and he do that through his son Yahweh Shemal Shai. All right, Yahweh Shai, and he sends his selected angels, to keep us in the way. All right. Psalms 84 and 11, for Yahweh power is a sun and shield, and Yahweh will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. Yeah, that's heavy right there. So that should be all faith boosting scriptures of protection. Because Jake is, with the times in which we're in, it's going to be all different type of living situations we got to be in, but we not gonna post up, as you call it, rosaries around talking about this is gonna protect me.
Yeah. Books.
Now retired, he worked for decades as a commercial diver and hoped to live closer to his widowed mother. But when
he worked for decades being a commercial diver, which a commercial diver is a very good trade. Not driver, but diver. Around 50 to 90,000. That's at entry level, but experiences, you can make it at least 6 figures. With that annually, okay? And that certain privileges may be, of course, given. But look, he's living in an RV, retired.
He sought a more conventional home.
I just can't see how people with a normal job making $15 an hour can afford an apartment without multiple roommates.
Are you able to?
Right, and yeah, that's what, this man is talking about, just an average person, because most people work those, simple jobs, fast food, retail, and get paid, basic money. And you have it where, they want, you to pay this rent, but the rent and costs and such are high. 16,000, for just a year lease or something like that. You gotta prove your income, that you can be able to even qualify, have the good credit, etc. He having multiple roommates. Most of those people, they get multiple roommates just to make it where the rent is cheap, so that everybody can live. But who wants to live in a place with multiple different people, who even their income may be even very much unsecure. Okay.
Use this for now or no?
No, I don't use it at all. I eat a lot of soup.
Yeah, soup is great.
Meals are made in the microwave, the stove unused for fear of a gas leak. Right next door.
Yeah, so, he can't even do the basic things that he want to do. The stove, he got a gas leak. He don't want to, get that, carbon monoxide poisoning and stuff like that. You got soup. He probably just used the microwave. And, you have it where, it's definitely the end of all things, because nothing is bouncing back. You seeing people live in these situations. It ain't like they saying, all right, well, Trump is now in office. Now we automatically become great. No. You have it where, and that's where a lot of people don't see the reality of things. They're thinking that automatically, or very soon, okay, we're gonna get out of this, economic state which you're in, but we're not. If not, it's only getting progressively worse. Despite the fact, they doctor up numbers and have different individuals of title to tell you different. Okay, and that's what you have to watch out by E. All right, this is Job chapter 13 and verse 4. It says, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. And the numbers, they're all doctored up. Okay, these numbers that you see, they're doctored up where hey, he probably thought that his retirement payout would be better than what he currently is living in, but you end up seeing it's not. Okay, all that income paid in taxes and such just to live in an RV in Tennessee. And another thing, like a lot of these American, they don't know they could just live in another country, a foreign country, where the dollar, would, of course, have a stronger buying power. Okay, because the dollar is the world's reserve currency. So you would think he would go out and go live in another country and enjoy everything, but he's just in America just suffering. And hey, that's what it is. Okay, he's living out pretty much his judgment, to basically be to wait for a complete destruction of Babylon, and still be under possibly the pride of believing this country is still the best. Okay. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes 9:15. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, but you could read the rest of the precepts ahead. And he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. And like many of these people, all right, which we are prophets unto the nation, do not listen to the wisdom which we are telling them that it's not coming back. Things are going to continue to get progressively worse. The economy is shite. More businesses continue to close. I just was driving about northwest Philly, and at work myself, and I seen another Rite Aid close, in the area. So it's like no Rite Aids no more, which is a pharmacy, okay, and they sell like different convenience items as well in the community, providing jobs for mainly women and such like that. But that's done. Okay, you have also they had another business known as Claire's, which is you get like I guess like people get like piercings and stuff like that. That place is closing. It said like in 8 days or something like that. So a lot of these different places were like, when you go to like what they call brick and mortar, stores and shops and stuff like that. These things, you would never think would go out of business, and they are. So Babylon the Great is going out of business. Okay, and that's just what it is. And people are living in these horrible situations. He living in a dwelling, where he can't even cook, how he traditionally would, and he probably don't know how to really, grill. So he just using the conventional microwave, So, we're seeing the end of all things, at hand. All right. So, let me get the next scripture. Is that, these scriptures are just a reality. This is Jeremiah 51:8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, which is ointment, or take healing, right? If so, she may be healed. Hey, there's not enough money that they can invent to make this place come back. All right, it actually makes it worse by creating this money. All right, this funny money, the fiat currency. It says, we would have healed Babylon, which is America, but she's not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches into heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, let's go back to this.
Is Debbie Williams.
Welcome to my house. Over here's the grandkids, see?
Oh, cute, yeah.
And that's Seven's.
The littlest one.
Yeah.
She sold her house in Kentucky to be closer to her grandchildren, but housing prices near Chattanooga increased by almost 50% since 2020.
Apartments are like about $1,200 a month, but then you got your utilities to pay. This is permanent. Plus it include it's like $550 a month, includes electric, water.
So you're saving over
and
50%.
Trash too, everything. It includes everything.
Debbie works nights.
She's getting a bargain, $550 a month, instead of paying more than double, for, without utilities included.
Helping adults with disabilities, and says she likes her setup. Even if
right, she talking like me. Yeah, I like my setup, man. I like my spot.
Exercise bike doesn't fit inside.
Right. Yo, look, yeah, I got this. I like my setup, yet I can't fit everything. But I have to tolerate being able to fit everything and be in a setup. And it's like torture in a sense, because it's like you're all claustrophobic. You know, you used to living in a home, now you got to compress everything to a, you know, however way small this box is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like my shower. It's really nice. And then my
And you
bed.
got to convince yourself of the reality that everything's nice and good, even though the stuff might be beyond self-par.
Room.
Debbie and Gus now among the nearly 500,000 people in the U.S. living in RVs full time.
I sometimes thought, man, if I could have saved more money in the past, but what it was is, I don't blame myself either, because I raised 4 kids with no child support.
Despite the tight quarters, plenty of room
That's not even that.
to build a community that matters.
And like that's what it is. Like a lot of these people are ignorant of the truth. You know, they think it's them, but it's really their father. You know, which is E. Okay, out of Wam. You know that done destroyed. You know this. Okay. Which is really how Bashir al-Shah that destroy it and put all these people in the state they in, because he pretty much is falling into the curses and such, where, you know, things were, you know, gravy, and now it's not gravy anymore. Okay, you know, everything was coming in, now that things ain't coming in anymore. Okay, so you know, the hedge is being removed. Okay. So, you know, you had the scripture where it speaks about the different curses that will fall upon our enemies that have been put upon us. Okay, that's being played out. Okay, it's continue to pursue them. So, this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30:7 says, "In Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which pursue thee." Okay, and you could just go into some of the different curses, you know, in which they have, you know, which you have it where, you know, your finances would be shite, you know, be cursed, you know, cursed be the basket in thy store, you know. You have it, the madness and various different plagues. You know, that would, you know, fall upon our enemies, which first start chiefly with E. All right, out of Wam. So yeah, man, we see what it is, man. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, with this look of grief, you know, and you know, he's been deceived. All right, and like I say, the poor man, which hey, really the prophets have been speaking this truth, you know, that they did not, you know, take heed to, have had the truth the whole time, and hey, the prophets will be delivered. Okay, so, you know, if they of the elect, that is, we're talking about, because you got false prophets out there. But yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. So, commercial diver believes in Babylon the Great, living in, you know, he got a dog tent and he has an RV, and he's living under means and trying to make it work in a place where he's supposed to prosper. Sad story. Sad outcome, but hey, that's their judgment. Shalom to the elect.